Oh, big bait. Cool. Oh, this is awesome. This is a solid one, guys. River rats, tank top, and flip-flop season's been over for a good long while now, but even though it's cold, like below freezing kind of cold, you can still catch cats, and even some really big cats. I'm gonna show you a few things that I do to catch some. So let's go. You don't need a boat to catch catfish when it's cold and in the winter time. You just need to figure out where they're at and what they do, and they're sweet. Oh. All right, come here, bud. What is, oh, his fin is, he's using his fin to stop him from dragging down the ice. It's crafty. A boat might help you find those places a little quicker, but you know, time on the water is the #1 thing, and I promise you can catch plenty of cats from the bank or from a kayak or from a boat 12 months out of the year. If you do have a boat though, there's a few things you want to keep in mind. When it gets cold, #1 is try to keep that gas tank full, because the more space you have in the gas tank, the more room you have for water vapor to condense, and then you get water in the fuel. The other one, you need to keep your motor trimmed down if it's going to be below freezing, because water can get in here, and if water sits in here, freezes and expands, it messes up your seals, and then you get water in your gears, and that's an expensive little mess up. So keep her trimmed down, keep the plug unplugged so water doesn't pool on the inside. Even if you got it covered up with a boat cover, you still want that plug unplugged so anything can run out the back of it. Another one that lots of people don't think about, but you know, lithium batteries are kind of a new thing. But yeah, your standard lithium batteries do not like to charge when it's cold. But these several newer models, these are Epoch, which is a company I partnered up with, and I'm pretty stoked for a lot of reasons. And I mean, it kind of sounds like Tupac, not like Tupac, but Epoch batteries, they got self-heating ones, so even when it gets real chilly, you can still plug it in and they'll charge up just fine. And it's nice because they also have an app, so you can hook it up to your phone and then monitor your charge, and those are all handy things. You should never run out of a charge on the water if you get the right size batteries, but it's nice to be able to keep an eye on it in case, you know, you have a battery problem of any kind. The other thing I really like about them is they're not crazy expensive. Like, you can spend $1,000 on a single lithium battery real easy, and these are about half that or even less on a lot of them. So if you're gonna go lithium route, they're a good one to look into, Epoch batteries. The best way to take care of your boat in the winter is, though, keep it covered in a heated space. But you know, I had to pick between a garage or a boat, and I picked a boat. So maybe the garage will happen someday, but until then, I'm gonna do all that stuff. But enough blabbering, let's get on the road and get fishing. The bait sure did make me chase them around pretty good, but once I found them, I lucked onto some jumbos, which I like to see. Bait's important like all the time, but I don't know, wintertime, I guess, frozen bait seems to work not as well as fresh, but not far off of it, and some days it works as well or even better. So I think the most important thing is finding fish that are gonna eat and then tempting them with some, you know, fresh, some cut bait of some kind, fresh or frozen, but I just feel more confident with fresh. I got some rigging to do. This probably isn't where I'm going to spend most of my fishing time today, but I'll cast a couple out that are rigged while I'm getting the other ones set up. I just saw some fish in here. I don't know if they're catfish or not. I doubt they're catfish, but No, I like trying new stuff, experimenting, so we'll see how it goes. Worst thing that's going to happen is we don't get a bite, and I could live with that. It'd be really cool if they are catfish, because there's a bunch of them. I'm going to mostly use smaller baits today, but I am going to put one big dog out because I got some big shad, and you know, it might seem like a big bait to me, but a 100-pounder, even on a day like today, looks like a potato chip. Yeah, I'm just gonna cut them right there. All right, buddy. Man, that'd be so cool if that got roasted. The anticipation with big baits is honestly one of the coolest parts of fishing with a big bait. They don't necessarily guarantee a big fish, but when they get hit, no matter what, it's pretty exciting. Other hot tip for cold weather, you know, winter time catfishing is thin wire hooks. I like them all the time because, I mean, if you're using a live bait, it lets them be more lively. But the other thing, when catfish are kind of in a negative feeding mood, it seems like the light wire hooks, I don't know why, they just grab it and seal the deal a little more consistently. You'll still get nibbles, don't get me wrong, but it seems like you get a few more real bites. Like I said, I have no real expectations here. I just saw some fish on the fish finder and kind of want to see if they'll eat while I get the other rods rigged up. I'm gonna eat too. Got some beef jerky, and when you're baiting up rods and reels or baiting up lines, it's important to distinguish a bait hand and a food hand, and I recommend you don't get them mixed up. This jerky's good, and just a minor hint of shad. Not too bad. Not overpowering, but you know, nice little zip to it. Well, I think we got a bite. He's just running off to the right with it. Is there any sign? Oh, he's racing. Wow, he ran a long ways. Wow, he about went out the front of the boat. Well, I guess at least one of them was a catfish. Feels pretty darn nice, too. Yeah, he's growing. He was just racing off to the right with it. I wasn't even expecting to catch a fish here. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Try to keep him out of all my tackle over here. Oh yeah, that's a nice one. Okay, he seems hooked decent. Stick him in there, clear the workspace just a smidge and grab the net. All right, come here, bud. Yeah, he's real nice. Nice, plump, and fat. Yep. And he ate the smaller chunks. Not totally surprising. If he's gonna eat anything. Okay, grippies, come here. Yeah, that's a really nice fish. Okay. Stop. He's cranky. Yeah, that's another thing that's not totally uncommon is, you know, rigs don't matter that much. Like the bait and the location, like finding fish is way more important, but Double hook rigs with smallish baits when it's cold, lots of times outproduce everything else. All right, let's get this fella back. Toss that back out there. Let go. See it. Definitely a pleasant surprise. But yeah, the old double hook rig, it's just got your main line. I like braid, a swivel, a drop or loop knot, which if you want to know how to tie that, go to Grog's Knots, and there's a sweet animated slow-mo step-by-step that does a really good job of showing you how to tie it. So I got one up high, one down low. If it gets a little twisted, the catfish don't seem to care too much, at least not any of the ones you catch. Maybe there are some that do care and you don't catch them, but ignorance is bliss. But yeah, you got one up high, one up low, and then a loop at the bottom. Put your sinker on. You can put a snap on there if you want, but put the loop through the sinker, pull it over it, cinch her back down. That's it. And the nice thing about that versus a clip is one less thing to lose if you do get snagged, which twice as many hooks, twice as many snags. So that is a downfall. But nothing's perfect. But catching fish at a spot where you didn't think you'd catch one, that's pretty sweet. Now if that big bait would just get hit, we'd be in some real business. Oh, that might be another bite. Thought it was just the boat swaying. It might just be the boat swaying. That looks like a bite. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's a bite. We're just swaying around all over the place. Those little subtle bites are kind of hard to see. Well, he's running with it now, I think. Yeah, he dropped it. Could be a bunch of gar in here too. It's hard to tell. Yeah, that's just a little guy nibbling on it. Gonna do it this time? Maybe. Oh, big bait. Cool. Oh, this is awesome. This is a solid one, guys. I guess some of them were catfish. Oh, he's sprinting at me now. Yeah, there's a good amount of weight there. Oh, he just rolled a little bit. What are we working with here? Okay. Kind of wish I had somebody to help me with this net, but we're gonna do the best we can. Him fighting actually helps a lot. This gives me a second to get this ready. Also gives him a second to get, don't stay off the boat. There we go. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Ooh. Oh, easy, you got a head of steam of him right there. Oh. Ooh. That's pretty sweet. That's a doozy. Oh wow, wow, get in here. There we go. Okay. He is in the net. And he is really big. Okay, we'll do this. Glad I threw that big bait, because he is a large fish. Okay, still not completely rigged. Okay. Yep. That'll work. Wow, he is fat. Big old noggin on that dude. Now, get the hook out of him. That's a big chunk of bait. Big old fish. Wow, guys. No, quit. He's unhappy. Okay, yeah. Gotta throw him up on the shoulder. Oh. I mean, obviously, big fish make me say dumb stuff. If you haven't watched very many of it, if you've watched very many of my videos, you already know that. But I guess this is why, even when, you know, usually a smaller baits are going to get you more action, it's never a bad idea. Throw a big old chunk. Am I getting bit over there? Maybe. Oh, so yeah, did not expect to catch a fish here. Come on. Quit. I want to know how heavy he is. Let's weigh him. I'm about 61. Okay, stop. I wasn't way off, but I was off. 57. Heavy enough it made the old back tighten up when I lifted him. All right, buddy. See ya. Oh, stop. Come on. Down he goes. That qualifies as a good one in my book. I'm all slimy, which is what I wanted, I guess. Still do not have all my rods rigged up. I'll put me a fresh slab out. I think I'm even going to cast a couple other ones out. I mean, they are rigged. Just spread them out, throw up on the flat and hole, short, long. I'm going to throw me a big old body chunk out, just in case there's another slob in there. Yep, that's a big fish bait. They'll eat little ones too, though. I always just like throwing one big one out, just in case. Sometimes the just in case is pretty big. Even with them big baits, I don't know if you noticed it, but that hook, it's large, but it's still a lighter wire hook. He was hooked perfectly with that. Doesn't always matter, but it's a critical moment when something malfunctions. Sure is frustrating, and it seems like them light wire hooks do what they're supposed to do consistently. Is there a fish on here? Maybe. Yep. Wonder how long he's been on there. He's just been swimming around with it for a while. He doesn't feel small. When you get that wind blowing, lines aren't tight. If they don't bury it like that last one did, sometimes it's hard to tell if they're on there. 2. I got a double and an impressive tangled mess. Now, double hook rig. 2 fish. Oh, wow. That's funny. Okay, what are we gonna do with this mess? And it is a mess, let me tell you. I'm gonna have to completely retie that one. I guess the re-rigging is gonna take longer than I planned. What a wonderful problem to have. boys. I'm just gonna start cutting, is what's gonna happen. I don't even know if they're hooked. They might just be lassoed. They're probably hooked and lassoed. I wonder if that channel cat bit first, toted it around, and then the blue cat showed up. I have no idea, but this is impressive. Yeah, just start cutting. Okay, they're disconnected from the rod. Yeah, that channel cat wasn't even hooked. He might have started hooked, but currently he's not hooked. Yeah, definitely something you don't see every day. Pretty nice channel cat. See you, buddy. Oh, quit it. And a real nice blue cat on the same rig. Double hook rig. Double the bait, double the fun. They're making it really hard to leave and look for where the fish are supposed to be. Well, that's funny. It does pay to try different stuff. At least today. Should probably just leave this extended when I'm by myself. All right, I got a bait ready. Might as well throw her out. Ooh. Are you a fish dragging the sinker, a big fish dragging the sinker, or are you just a little guy? I think he's just a little guy. They are officially all rigged up. I thought that day would never come. I do appreciate the wonderful interruptions though. So this spot's a little deeper. You don't necessarily have to fish deeper when the weather's cold. I mean, cold's relative. If you get an unseasonably warm day in the winter, like something 10, 20 degrees above normal, lots of times them fish will move shallow. Like talking a foot of water shallow. Even on cold days, sometimes they'll be shallow, like surprisingly. They're a little deeper here, but the weather also really sucks. It's like 30 degrees and howling wind. Let's go see what we can find. Well, this spot's for the birds. Literally, I mean, they're kind of who gave it away, but there's a little side channel that's just loaded with bait. So it's a little bit like the last one, just a little pocket, marked a bunch of fish. They look big, like they could be cats, but the only way to know for sure is to fish it. So let's spread some lines out and we will see. They could definitely be cats, but not hungry cats. I'll take that risk. Definitely gonna throw a big old chunk again. Need a bigger one than that. I think that should cover all the bases. Man, wouldn't it be sweet if we just stumbled on 2 spots that were just loaded with hungry fish? That's one thing about out here is there's lots of fish, but not a lot of hungry fish, so it does add an interesting dynamic. We are kind of out of the wind a little bit here, which is nice. Should help with bite detection. Fair amount. But hopefully they just slam it, and then we don't even have to worry about that at all. And I guess technically you got to get a bite before you worry about bite detection. Well, I'd say we got her covered. We got a nibble. It's a little bob. Well, we got another nibble. Ooh, that's a little bit better bob. Did you drop it? That's that big bait. I think. Maybe that was that shorter bait. Maybe that's the big bait. Can't remember. We'll evaluate when we reel them in, hopefully with the fish on. Micah was kind enough to forget his jerky. I wouldn't want it to go to waste. Pretty good stuff. Bucky's jerky. Ooh, you might actually have the hook. Chan, man? No, probably. He just popped off. Them little guys are hard to keep on the hook sometimes. He's pretty bouncy, which suggests it was a channel. Oh, maybe a smallish blue. The hook went back into the bait. They don't just eat it. That has been known to happen. Toss it back out. Lots of bumps and nibbles and such. This is the first real bite we've had. Bite that pulled the rod down and kept her down for a little bit. That's what I mean by real bites. Get a lot of these tippity taps, tap, tap, taparoos and whatnot, but when the rod starts to go down and stays down, I call that a real bite. Well, I'm thinking of it bait size. Like these are, if you're channel catfishing, these are giant baits, but we're not channel catfishing. We're fishing for blues, and channel cats will still nibble on it, but they have a hard time getting the hook. They're not as aggressive this time of year. But for blue cats, these are pretty smallish baits to me. Yeah, if you're fishing for chans, definitely wanting to use something. I mean, don't be afraid to use something the size of like a nickel, you know, quarter. Even a dime, like a little minnow head is what they want sometimes. We're only giving about 5 more minutes to see if there's anything here that's going to take any of these baits down. And I think we got time for a spot or two out in the deep, and it must be about dark. When it's this cold, I want to be off the water before things start cooling down too much, because that's when stuff quits working. I might have just talked myself into only fishing one more spot. All right, let's get out of here. Oh, that's what all the birds were eating right there. And probably the little channel cats too. Maybe a few big old cats swimming around in here eating them too, I don't know, but I don't have much daylight left and I'm not patient enough to find out. All right, I'm thinking this is gonna be the last spot. Like I said, I don't want everything to freeze up before it gets put away. So, fingers crossed we get one more. Well, I started putting my net away and then get a nibble. Is he actually gonna pull it down or? Nope. Very soft bite there. The coldest flathead in the world? That'd be cool. It's funny, as soon as I put my net up, I start getting bites. That's funny. Pull her down there, bud. Still on it. Might have just dropped it. It's hard to tell when you're staring into the sun. Maybe. You run into the side with it? Oh, he drops it. Cold fish out here. Light tip rods do make a difference when the water's cold, as far as fish biting and getting hooked. Sometimes it doesn't matter. The only way to go, I mean, it's tough to go much lighter than these. These are big cat fever hellcat mediums, but it's tough to go much lighter than that without being like channel cat tackle. And that might have been a channel cat. You just picked it up and ran with it for a ways. You definitely don't want pool cue rods when it's cold though. Unless you're fishing mono. The mono stretchy enough, it's not as big of a deal.
Okay, well I just wanted to make sure that you were okay. For some reason I thought
Oop, I got one. I got a fish. Let me call you back.
oh my gosh.
Okay, bye. Oh, that's funny. Hadn't had a bite, and then Ella calls. Sure enough. It's nice to squeak one out here before we gotta reel up and take off. Doesn't even feel like a bad one. Pulled it down a little bouncy, but he's fighting pretty decent. There we go. Might even be a netter. Yeah, he finally got underneath. Yeah, I'm lifting him pretty easy now. Oops, stay on there, bud. Stay out of that drift sock. Oh yeah, real nice fish. Hit the top hook on the double hook rig. Interesting. Yeah, net gets put up and then a fish bites. Well, really, Ella calls and then a fish bites. Okay, there we go. I think we're good now. He's in the net. And he's in the boat. Half the rig's hanging out of the boat. That's all right. Grips on him, get him unhooked, and get this situation figured out. Okay, he's fat. He's a good one. He kind of hit it tentatively, but I mean, it is 30 degrees out, so there's that. No, he just had another bite. Yeah, pretty darn good day for being cold as, well, we'll keep this PG. It's just cold. See you, bud. Definitely a fish out of a little bit more traditional wintertime spot. Well, I'm gonna start picking up. Like I said, I don't want everything to freeze solid before it's on the trailer and whatnot, but sure, I'm glad we landed on the fish that we did. It's kind of funny how fish don't always do what they're supposed to, so it does pay to explore, pay attention, and get out there and experiment. I will say the nicer the weather in the winter, usually the better the catfishing. There are a million different exceptions, but there's a million exceptions to anything in fishing, but if the weather's unseasonably warm, that's my favorite time to be out in the cold months, and it's convenient that it also happens to be when the catfish are biting the best. Yeah, if you like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, check out my other videos. I'm sure they're gonna pop up here. I don't know, you can go check them out on my channel, but lots of catfishing and then a little bit of other stuff mixed in. But Either way, appreciate the heck out of you taking time to watch. It means a ton. Hope you catch a giant.